Hey, welcome back to Metropole Grid. My name is Andre. Thanks so much for dropping by. It's currently April 9th. We're playing the casual lobby Jinteki.net. Where I record, am I going to be on TV? Maybe YouTube at best. Thanks, you too. So we're playing Geist. I've actually kind of been struggling to find decks that I enjoy playing right now in the meta. So I kind of went back and just grabbed some Geist decks that I used to love playing, but it kind of faded out of the local meta. Go Metropole, thanks, Wings. Because of the way that the meta has shifted. This deck wasn't particularly good at dealing with acid spam, but we'll see how it is. We're playing against Potential Unleashed, and this deck does run a Levy and does run a lot of cards that it wants to recur, so that might be rough. Opening with Employee Strike is good, but the rest of his hand sucks, so we'll mulligan that. And that's okay. I generally do not say that you should be playing Street Peddler against any deck that's trying to kill you or mill you out more accurately, so Street Peddler seems really rough, but I think we're still going to have to play it and hope we don't get our thing stuck underneath it. And they're rushing. That's probably a House of Knives. There's so many things that we could run into that would be an issue. Like a Cortex Lock, it's probably GG. Do we want them to have a House of Knives? Not really. I guess we're going to push this anyways. This is a rough matchup. So under here we have the one medium, an Aaron, which is really good, and another Street Peddler. I don't know how good medium is against Potential Unleashed, but we could just put it down and go nuts. But I think the Aaron's probably better. If we trash this, we draw a card. I missed Geist so much. Geist, my boy, where you been? So I guess we'll drop. We have a Fall Guy, which is pretty good. So they can't vote or intimidate us. I think we'll play that. Croter's good. And they can't really ping us out of hand if we don't run. So at least we're going to try and get all our breakers down. We'll probably need this for Kagugo. The problem is we don't have any D-res effects. Like we're not running Saker. So we can't actually deal with Kagugo. And I don't like that card so much. I think it's really good. But just for criminals, you're kind of boned. You're just so boned. Like, unless you can D-res it, you're going to take net damage no matter what. And it kind of just encourages ice destruction, which is something that I know a lot of people don't care for. This is the deck that we're running right now. And we are running... Oh, no, it's the other one. Where are we at? We're at the top now because I edited it? Yeah. This is based on Benjamin Terrell's Dodge Pong's deck. We're running one Levy, two same old things, two Employee Strikes. So that's pretty good. So let's see how this takes us. I haven't played this in a while, but this is the deck I used to play for a long time. I think we're also running Solset Slums, which would be pretty sweet. So let's pop this game 2. We want this on the table before we lose it. I think we got to check out what this is. Like if they pay 4 for a snare, that's so what? That's fine, but we need to trash the bioethics while we can. This could be a hostile, which they could res. It's a pad campaign. Interesting. We'll trash that once they res it. This card's also good for a burst kill, but I don't think burst kill is something we have to like really watch out for. Another Fall Guy, yeah, I think that's worth playing. It's probably okay. So anything now, we probably trash it because they technically wasted a... Well, we wasted a click running it, but they now are down 1 credit, let alone 2 credits because they installed it, and that's probably the House of Knives. Yeah, that's fine. They didn't want to score that earlier, which is cool. The cool thing about Fall Guy is that we can use it like before we access, in theory. I think we need to get this down before we lose it too. And we got 2 errands, so ideally we want to draw into our siphons. And I forget how many this is playing. Sorry, I haven't played this deck in a while. It's full 3 siphons. So we'll get full value on the siphon if we draw it up. Crescentas, actually, oh, we can deal with Kaguga. Ha, joke's on us. So I think we can just draw up and put these down. And now Kaguga's not an issue. With all these breakers down, not only do we not have to deal with Cortex Lock, but we can break everything. We put down 1 crowbar, 1 shiv. Well, besides the 5 strength, if they can res, well, DNA tracker 6 strength, right? So there's 2 versions of Geist. This one is the Benjamin's angry one. The other one is the one with what's it called, spy cameras, which is actually much better in this matchup because you know when you have to run and when you don't have to run. So I think we can afford to put both of these down and just charge it. Yeah, we might lose our Peacock, but who cares? At any point in time, also when we run this, we decide we don't have enough money to access, we can just use our Fall Guy to gain 2 credits and draw a card. We can also draw up with Aaron. But we want them to res. Like if they res what's it called now? A Kagugo, we de-res it, we don't take the net damage, and it's going to be a really bad proposition. Ooh, Lotus Field. Which you were 1 breaker short of dealing with. They didn't ping us, which is good, but they can't really score anything now. So that's good. And we can't deal with that. Like we need to now put down our passport, which breaks it for 3 install, 4 to break, which isn't great. Oh, they can score it if it is another House of Knives. And if it's another House of Knives, we're in a bad spot. But they're just hedge funding up. So I think we're going to use this because we need to find our 1 in 10 chance of hitting a Siphon now. So let's gain 2. Temujin's good. I think we can just Temujin HQ and go nuts. It might be worth playing Sports Hopper, but then we can't afford to do this. Let's put this on HQ. So let's go. Actually, I think maybe putting on R&D might be better. Just to see the top card of R&D every turn is actually a pretty good thing. Arc Lockdown. Oh, we're fucked. There's no counterplay against that. We're boned. We're so boned. I think we just lose. That's a big reason why I stopped playing, guys, is that you just can't win against Arc Lockdown a lot of times. It's just now luck. Oh, we didn't mean to run that. We meant to run HQ. Nah, you can keep that. Like, there's so little counterplay to it. If you just run a deck that relies on recursion, and I know a lot of people don't like recursion as like a thing you can do. I don't know. I just wish that card had a bit more counterplay to it. So they're making money up. They have another pad, so they could install it, and in theory, it could actually not be the pad. Like, they could play against our expectations, which is kind of cool. Icing up R&D? I'd assume they'd ice up HQ. We lost our medium, right? What did we decide was better than a medium? Aaron? Yeah, that's probably the pad. I think we can count on that being the pad. Unless we run HQ, which we're going to do anyways, and we see the pad in there, then we can run this. We need our Forger. There we go. So now we can deal with this thing. Running last click, if we hit a snare, not an issue. And once we have enough money, we'll trash both the pads. Arc Lockdown again. Not much we can do about that. I'm surprised they're not pinging us with this, but they should before we hit up the employee strike. So that wasn't a surprise. But once we get this down, and they're going to score it, so maybe we wanted to just run that. And if that's another House of Knives, yeah, we're in a bad spot. That's probably why they weren't using it. So this basically cycles for a free card for 2 credits. Instead of drawing, I'd rather draw. I don't think the money's that important right now. This is actually really important that we get down. I still think we're just going to check HQ. Yeah, they could ping us for 2 cards here, but like, what can we do? Besides draw into our employee strike? A Siphon right now would be clutch. They have enough money to res DNA tracker, so I don't want to face plant here until we have 6 breakers. Or 6 strength breakers, let alone maybe just this, but this doesn't break that elegantly. An early MP, no surprise there. Yeah, I think it's actually probably worth putting this down. Because at least we can like panic. If we know we need a levy, we can just draw into it and hopefully get it before they hit it. But as soon as like the levy hits the bin, I think we have the same old thing. Like, I just think we have to shorten the value of our deck. So in theory, like Nerdly and Pete right now could get the levy, and then they arc locked it down and the whole game's over. Well, it's not over, but like without our medium, yeah, maybe it is over. Because we just can't get enough single accesses. Card in server 1, we can afford to check that. If that's a snare, it's like only so bad. And we can always react if they ping us like a lot before we hit that. Siphon seems okay. I think we can get this down, Siphon, check that server. It seems okay. Because we're going to draw up anyways here, so I hope they ping us. Alright. Alright. It's fine. It's fair. So we'll take the money. Avoid any of the 2 tags. No, not with Forger. We'll remove them with Aaron, which draws us 2. And we have Employee Strike. I still think we're just going to check this. We could de-res it, but we want to keep our Crescentuses for the Kagugos. And now we don't have a Koge Breaker. Drew another Siphon, which is really good. If they don't hit it. And they could easily hit it here. Even if this is a Fetal AI, they could easily hit it. Snare. Maybe, but it doesn't really matter that much. Well, it does, because we're bleeding cards. Oh, we also lost things on the top of our stack. Of course we did. Now they're considering. Jackson Howard. Yeah, we can afford that. And next turn, if they don't do it, like, I think we're going to just account Siphon trash. Oh, we'll play Employee Strike 100% first, just because it cuts the net damage their deck can do in half. And they've scored the agendas that are easy to score, so it's, unless they're running currents, it's actually going to be pretty difficult. And admittedly now, if we have Employee Strike on, it's going to be harder for them to arc lockdown. Can you fire after snare hits? Nah. Last paid ability window is right when the runner commits to the access. But when they do that, I can react with Aaron. So it's unlikely to be lethal. Yeah, sorry, Wings of Clarity asks, can you House of Knives after snare hits? Now the last paid ability window is right when you run and you say, would you like to access? If they say yes, you can do a paid ability window. I think it's 4.3. But you can't like fire snare, haha, House of Knives, because there's no more paid ability windows once runners are actually like touching cards. So they're drawing up madly. Seems good. I think we just employee strike Siphon, clear those 2 pad campaigns, and if they're going to be clicking for credits, they're not going to be in a good spot because snare is expensive. A lot of other things are expensive too, and we can lose these breakers, right? Actually, we don't want to lose Crowbar. We really don't want to lose Crowbar, so maybe we're not in a rush to Siphon. We can always like just draw up with our car, but then there's a chance that they'll hit our we'll draw a levy and they'll hit it. The issue with this card now is that we do technically have to respect Cortex Lock. And Marcus batting to Cortex Lock is an issue because now these don't take up MU, so we're only using up 3 of our MU, which is honestly not that bad. But we don't have we lost just this guy here. So code gates are the only thing that we can't break in permanence. All right, well, is this a 3-1 or 3-2? It's unlikely. It's more likely to be a trap. And with this, like now Psychic Field isn't an issue. Like they could Psychic Field us and we'd just be like, oop, peel out before they can hit us with the Knurl. Because we know they're holding a Knurl EMP, right? We need this on the table 100%. So I don't think we can actually siphon this turn. I think we'll let this one go through. Like there's not that much that this is bad. If it is a 3-1, so be it. And they might think it's 3-1 because it looks like we can't get in. Slightly wrong order. So everything okay? So let's see. I think... Oh, Slums is really good because we can remove a lot of things from the game. Like snare, stuff like that. So that's good. We need this on the table. And I think we're okay now. So with this, anytime we hit a shock, remove it from the game. Every time we hit a snare, remove it from the game. Every time we hit a Jackson, remove it from the game. And that really cuts down the amount of grinding that this deck can do. And this deck will try and grind you out. And admittedly, we only have 20 cards. In fact, 19 cards left in our deck. So we're probably going to have to levy before they hit it. So I think now we can lose both of these. So next turn we do Employee Strike Siphon. And we'll probably clean these up. We're going to use our Aaron draw, though. Oh, that's good. And they're drawing before they're installing a piece of ice, which is definitely a goof. You always want to draw before you do the other things in your turn that aren't drawings, just so you have the better options. We can also peel out if we ever need to, and that's pretty great. So let's see. These are doing so much work for them, which is why we 100% need to trash these. Just because like this has given them like now 6-7 credits or something like that, and they only have 12 credits. So like if these weren't here, they'd have to be clicking for credits. This is 2 free clicks a turn almost. And we have to deal with it, let alone we'll remove them from the game too, which is okay if we don't use this while running HQ. This is also the sort of deck that might be running preemptive action, so just removing the 3 Jacksons. Oh, my face is in front of stuff, my bad. It's probably not good enough. I'll shrink my face, put it down here on the bottom, because I don't think we're going to use this space up. Hopefully that's good enough. Yeah, actually, probably they're not going to build big servers. This is good. Now I'm like right in the middle. Yeah, what a diva. So let's see. They have to throw out 1 card. Again, checking archives is kind of shitty. Excuse me, like shock is a thing you have to worry about. And that's not great because it does 2 damage in this matchup. Never good. We can afford these 2 cards. Friends in High Places. Fuck a duck. So that's a Jackson Howard. So that changes our turn a bit, huh? Just a Jackson Howard. Interesting. Anything you'd like to do? So we're going to ask them if they want to respect Rumor Mill right now, let alone Interdiction, which means they can't res their Jackson Howard. Even Councilman would be an issue. So we're going to give them like the benefit of the doubt. It's also good if they just use it through this like polite intimidation, the most polite intimidation, just to see if they'll fire it. Nope. Okay, cool. All right, so 100% we want to get rid of this. 100% we want to siphon because as soon as we run, these will fire. So I think we still just go siphon plan. And then we draw 2, run this. We'll draw with Aaron, I mean. We want them to spend money too. We're not going to be able to trash both in pads, but we'll work on that. Oh. Fuck. Uh. Okay, well. I guess we'll peel out. Oh yeah, we draw 4. Oh fuck. Well, now if we lose our levy. Fire. Yeah, that's a card we have to respect. So we lose a levy, we're in a really shit spot. And we lost our levy. So we have to levy this turn and we're not going to have it. So that changes everything. Fuck. Run ability, avoid 2 of the tags. No merci. Draw 2, levy. Like, we have no other option. We really don't. Because otherwise they just arc lock it down for 2 credits and they can afford to do it. So that was a bummer. Didn't expect that piece of ice, but at least they don't have a lot of money. So now the House of Knives are not that big of a threat. We have another employee strike. I don't think we actually have to play Tech Trader. Like, it doesn't seem that important. And now Street Peddler does seem like a liability because we are just set up. We'd rather have 4 more cards in our stack. Now they're Jacksoning up. So I think this turn we run Jackson. If they pop it, which I think they will, then we consider running HQ. Or actually we could run R&D, run Jackson, run R&D, which also is probably fine. But we want to shut down their money more. Because the more about this deck is about not losing. And we don't want to trash these, then run Jackson, because they'll shuffle them back in, so we'll run this. 100% they use it now, or we remove it from the game. And money is not an issue. Yeah, good. And I think we'll remove one of these from the game, and then next turn we'll throw out a Siphon, likely. I guess we want Aaron before that. Also, we don't know what this is. This hasn't been moving. And the cool thing is, if this is hostile infrastructure, Salset Slums does not care. Just doesn't care, because you're not trashing it, you're removing it from the game. And I think even, hostile infrastructure is every time, not the first time, so it will care the second time. Hedge Fund Data Mine, 1 face down card, so let's pull apart their money. It might be a bit late, because they're now on 11 credits, but at least they're not going to be on 13 credits next turn. Yeah, I'll remove it from the game. We could remove this one from the game too. And I don't think we have that much other good uses for money. And I don't think removing Pad from the campaign, from the game is that good. Like, just trashing it's probably good enough. We want to remove from the game Snare and Shock and stuff like that. I think putting this down is also fine. We technically don't want to lose this just because we only have, what, 1 more Code Gate that we can break all game unless we derez things. Like, that's not great. I think this turn we want to get down our Peddler. That's, well, not the Peddler. We want to find a Hopper, and the coolest thing about Peddler is that it lets us draw like a card when we want to, which is really good in this matchup, but not sure how good. 6 turn Kogi's also a big deal because we can deal with DNA Tracker, which is something they can't afford. Chiashi they can afford at 12 and we can't. I guess we'll hit it with this thing. Chiashi's what, 8 strength? So 6, 7, 8, 9. So we'll derez it. So at least we have that going for us. Yeah, it's 8, right? 8, 3 subs. 12 for 8. Yeah, so that's good. And we're not running AI, so it's going to be a lot easier too. We also do have the flexibility anytime we hit a program, or sorry, a piece of ice, we can be like, oh, do we want to draw or we just want to break it effectively? And drawing is also very good in this matchup. So this deck isn't that great at scoring generally, so a lot of it is just don't die. Don't die. And like losing our levy would have been probably a game loss. Yeah, I don't want to install this. It seems bad. So they got these 2 out, which is good. They've used most of the tokens, which is good too. At this point, it's now just a fest. Like, Hokusai Grid is something we have to respect, because that's an issue. Another card in Server 1. Just a new card in Server 1. Again, there's very few cards that unadvanced we have to respect. Yes, it could be a Philotic Entanglement. That's fine. It puts them on 4 points, whatever. Like, running this just for a Hokusai is kind of shitty. Let alone he uses one of these. So I don't think we have to run anything that's unrezzed. Because if it is another House of Knives, good for them. Like, that's unlikely. I don't think we need to afford to play these. Same old thing's good. We'll definitely play that because we don't want to lose that. And now notice they don't have enough money. Like, even if they advance this and they go down to 7, that's really bad for them. Because if we siphon them, they can no longer play Snare. Let alone if they're playing Future Perfect, that's hard for them to protect it when they don't have money. So I think we want them to spend money now just so they won't feel good about scoring. None of the cards in their hand are good. I think we can just go for a Count Siphon, and even if we have to clear the tags manually, it's not crap. It's okay. We can also same old thing a Count Siphon in theory if we wanted to. And not have to worry about floating tags. Like, if they trash Aaron, yeah, it's not great, but They spend 2 credits on it, they probably won't be able to afford that. So let's see. Just make sure you don't like overextend in this matchup. Celebrity Gift, that's really good. So they have Arc Lockdown, Neural EMP, Feel A, Shock. I'm not a big fan of, I guess they do have a lot of money now, but I'm not a big fan of Celebrity Gift because telling us what they have in HQ is probably the most valuable thing that was the best thing that they had going for them, is us not knowing what's in there. Like, we know there's no snares. And taking a shock, whatever. Take a damage removal from the game, like, we'll run HQ now. And I think what they're camping on, or not camping on, but what they're hoping on is that we run last click. This does the damage, this does the damage. Neural EMP does the damage, Neural EMP does the damage. So we have to end our turn with at least 2 cards in hand. Unless they top deck another Neural. Do we Siphon? Oh, that's fantastic. Fantastic. 8, 9, 10, 11. So 11 just to break Chiashi still. They threw a card out. They might have thrown out the shock, so running HQ is even better. Again, not that worried. We could take shots at R&D, but they're eventually going to flood up, right? Like, I don't think we have to do anything. This means that the Neural EMP is almost never going to kill us, let alone we're never going to die during a run. It's all just about cards in deck and whether we're going to be ground out. So we're not going to play or install anything that isn't 100% mandatory. Drawing a Timogen would be good. So now I think it's 2 cards in HQ we don't know. You're going to assume they're holding on to Arc Lockdown. And yeah, they could Arc Lockdown the Account Siphon, and if they do, that's fine. We have 2 more. New card in server 1, it's another Jackson Howard. I kind of don't want to run that, just because we can't break Lotus Field that often. Oh, well, actually, no. Peacock's back in our deck. No, we could go for it. All right, we're going to ask them again anything they want to do. A lot of cards into archives. There's shocks in there, so we're never going to really run that until it's like game point, and there might be a future perfect in there, I guess, and then we have to play a side game. So maybe we siphon them down to the ground first, like siphon, same old thing, siphon, run archives. Something like that. This is a DNA tracker that's obnoxious. It's going to be pretty bad. Anything you like? Oh, fantastic. You don't even have to deal with it. So again, what's an HQ? No idea. Really no idea. We could throw the siphon out. Like throw the siphon at them. Siphon, they res this. Say they res this for 4. We siphon them for 5. That's a 9. So they're down at 8. We're up at something. Let's do it. They're probably going to arc lock this down. Go. Fantastic. So that's why we keep our friend here. So this is even a bigger swing. So break 1, D-res, so we don't take the net damage, because like, fucked if we're going to take the net damage over and over again. They might want to use this now. There's a chance that they'll get the Temujin. Would be pretty sweet. And I think we just Temujin R&D and go crazy. If we can see the top card they draw, they can't really draw any meaningful traps. So run ability, yes please. Avoid 2 of the tags. Nope. If we use this, all of our breakers. Oh no, actually we could use this, but I think we'd rather keep this. Maybe we float a tag. No, it seems bad. Remove tag, remove tag. Not much else to do here. And let's see if they arc lock down the siphon, because next turn we could siphon them again. And same old siphon is really good in Geist specifically, because this is a trash ability, which means you draw a card. Which is pretty cool that you're cycling your deck while doing this, which is generally a pretty poor tempo play, unless you're using like a really strong event, like Account Siphon, or indexing, or something like that. Or Levy, you know, like we did. They're probably also not using their House of Knives just because this does 2 damage, and if they can score Agenda, or let alone if they're playing a current, these do 4 damage. So it doubles the damage, and that's obviously very good. Sequasa, what is this? If we siphon them, they res the Kagugo. We let the siphon go through. We still can clear 2 tags and run this, and I think that's probably fine. Drew a Fall Guy, that's fine. I think we'll install that. And now if they res this, they're down at 0 credits, so they can't really threaten snare, let alone score. With these 2 scored, I don't think there's a lot of things that we have to respect. Okay, they're just letting this go through. That makes sense. So we'll take it, avoiding the 2 tags. We could avoid 1 tag, it draws us a card. Yeah, I think we do, because then we can run this. Oh, we can always remove it too. So we'll remove a tag. Oh, now we can't use this on Will. Yeah, maybe we shouldn't have done that. Maybe that was stupid. Now we run this, we actually discard cards. Yeah, that what we did was dumb. That was not a good play. Are we scared of anything here? We also now snare is an issue. Yeah, we should not have done that. Fuck. Ah, whatever. Let's just put this on R&D. Fine. And we're not going to play Street Peddler. Yeah, now we can't peel out without trashing a bunch of our breakers. And I guess we would, in the pinch, we would trash one Shiv. 2, 3, 4. Yeah, maybe a Shiv. Okay. All right. Yeah, that's the problem. Just clicking for credits, like what could this be? It's probably a Hokusai grid, I guess. We want to run R&D, trash Hokusai grids before they install them, remove their shocks from the game, just make this whole thing more palatable. And they can't really afford to res this stuff. This could be a data mine if it is. Yeah, it's fine. There's just not a lot of unadvanceable agendas that they could threaten scoring. So I'm not that worried about checking this. Even if it is a hostile infrastructure, or it could be like a synth DNA modification, that's fine. House of Knives, fantastic. All right. That's good. Can afford to run again. It's actually pretty easy for us to run again too, because now we have Aaron to save us. So yeah, Siphon Valley just got a lot better. Fetal AI, okay, we'll steal that. So we take 2 damage. So what do we lose? Cards that we weren't going to install anyways, and we don't want to overdo it. Like, there's no reason overextending here. We can just draw up. They have, maybe if they have 3 neurals, we're still fine, especially with Aaron in this. Like, I don't know what else they can do, but rather safe than sorry. Fantastic. We got another Forger. We are back up. I don't know what they can really do anymore. The whole game came down to sniping the Levy. And as long as we played intelligently, where we always had 2 clicks to same thing the Levy at any point in time where they could have damaged it, we were probably going to be okay. We haven't won yet. Like, it's still 3-2, but they have as many cards in R&D as we have in our grip. Or stack, which is pretty good. So I think we put the Forger down, just so we can peel out if we need to, and then we'll just keep hitting the top of R&D. Haven't seen any snares, but they can't really afford snare right now, can they? Like, they can afford it, but they can't afford it. If that's a Kaguga, we might just bounce on it and wait till we get a Crescentus. I think we're playing only 2. I think we took out the 3rd Crescentus from this deck after testing, because this, like, we haven't played this yet, only 2 Crescenti. This is a deck I haven't played in a while. I think this is worth installing. This was something I used to play like in the regionals of last season, and it did me really well. I actually played more of the spy camera variant when there's a lot more HB and Pilana. It was really good. Yeah, fire. Don't care about that. It does 1 net damage. They paid 1 credit for that. It's fine. That's not a bad trade. 1 for 1's good. Losing that's shitty, because that's technically the best card. That's a Lotus Field. They can afford that. I guess we'll break it. Hopefully draw a Peacock. Bank job, don't need it. But that's like a big thing about understanding. It's like, you might be so quick to install Tech Trader when you're playing as Geist, but in this matchup, it's not important. It's really important to understand that you don't need it. Celebrity Gift. I think we can actually run HQ now, because if they res this, they have no more money. So they can't. So I think we get a free access here. Like, they can't. And if they res it, it just ends the run. So who cares? So I think we can actually get 2 runs here. Because no matter what, we'll be able to draw 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, this is 4 cards, right? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cards whenever we want. So snare, great. Hope they fire it. Really do. Because now they have no money. Avoid anyone that 1 tags. Yeah? No. No. Trash snare, no. Remove it from the game. So that's good. Now we're going to do that for sure. Triple Neural does kill us, but they don't have the money for it. What else can we hit that will be a problem? Nothing. Nothing. Like, Fetal does 2, and then we just peel out with this. So, yeah, we'll go again. There's no trap that fires here besides Shock and Fetal. So, in theory, they could ping here, but if they ping here, we can always react and peel out with our car. Neural. Okay, great. Now they're also farther away from playing the Celebrity Gift, which is good. But we now need to draw our Peacock, because this is an issue. This is an issue. And I also think that the spy camera version of this deck would be better. No, but then you can arc lock down all the spy cameras, and that sucks. That's obviously not good. So maybe not. Because that one is a bit more reliant on recursion. We still have 20 cards. We do need to get a lot of agendas, but what else can they do but click for credits? 3 credits still, nothing is an issue. I think we can afford to drop once, I guess. No, but these cards suck, so we want to run with these and get these trash before we run with something better. Or before we draw something better. They can't res this. We don't want to check this, like it doesn't seem to matter. Maybe agendas in here, but don't want to take the damage. Neural, no surprise. Get another run here. If they're just holding on to the Neurals and hoping that'll be a kill, it's probably unlikely with both of these. Snare, fantastic. Second one out of the game. So now they can't put those back in their deck, which adds like, if they put these back in their deck with Jackson or Preemptive, that adds like what, 6 more damage to the deck? Like that's obviously really good. Drew another errand, useless. Drew same old thing, it's good. Same old thing, Siphon's good. They can't just duck the Kakugo though. Yeah, even same old thing Employee Strike might be worth doing. And now with 4 credits, we can same old thing. No, I think we just need to find our Crescentus we want, and we want yeah, we want a Breaker. If it's the last card in our stack, I think we're in a bad spot. Medium's good, but not good enough. Oh, Providence. Good luck. That's the rig we want. Full MU use. Cortex log doesn't matter anymore. We're going to see a lot of cards on R&D. Whole games on R&D. Yay. And if they overextend, like if they put ice on R&D to keep us out, because we have a Temujin R&D, mind you, so it's going to be free to access for at least 2 runs, we'll Siphon. And again, Siphon draws us a card. It's pretty good. It's actually quite an interesting matchup. Like you do have to play very intelligently. Again, like designate which cards are good in this specific matchup. Don't just play it the way you play any other deck. Celebrity Gift, okay, well, yeah, we should have known that. So Neural Impede, Data Mine, Kagugo. And yeah, we don't have a good way to deal with Kagugo, and that's why you play Ice Destruction. So now we're just gonna have to like take single damages. So I think same old Siphon is still the best we got and take 1 damage. Yeah. It's an interesting matchup. I just think Kagugo is a bit heavy-handed because there's no way to deal with it. Ice Destruction. That's one of the things the game right now is struggling with, is how good Ice Destruction is. So let's swing the Siphon here. If they res this, we'll break it. They'll be down 4 + 5. They'll be down 9, 10, 11. So they can't res this, so that we can go through, and then we'll get a couple runs off this turn. Oh, 1 run off. Great. Can't de-res it, but we'll break through it. We'll take the money. Great. That went through. Run ability. Avoid 2 tags. No, we'll just draw it with this. These cards are good. Can't afford Snare. And we're going to get these tokens through. And we'll take 1 net damage to see 2 cards next turn if they don't purge. So we're going to use this. We can always panic if they like do a lot of House of Knives damage to us and then eventually use our Crowbar just to draw a card. Single Friends in High Places. That's probably an okay draw for them. Maybe they can't afford it, but what do they Friends in High Places back? Pad campaigns? I just don't see how they're going to score. Like, we technically don't even have to be doing this pressure. Like, it's good to keep them poor 100%, but I don't see how they're going to win. Like, I think we're doing more damage to them than they are to us. And yeah, we only have 13 cards left in our deck, so that is like a limited resource, so we can't actually like go too nuts, and we're going to need a bunch more accesses to win, admittedly. So a lot of this is going to be a grind. That's unfortunate. Let's see if we draw our Crescentus. No, we did not. But at least they're going to have to res this here. We know the card in their hand is Friends in High Places, so we should actually be mindful. We know what their entire hand is. Their entire hand is Neural, they're holding on to those, which are good late game. Data Mine, Kagugo. Alright, so yeah, I guess we'll break that. We can take some damage here, and at least it's not taking 1 off the top of our deck, which if it was, like, this card's fucking nuts. I think we'll install the Temujin. I think it's worth it. They can't afford Snare anymore. Fetal, good. Oh, well, there goes that thing. Himitsu Baku, that's good. So, okay. We can go again. Fetal won't kill us. Yeah, we can go again. See 2 new cards. Yeah, that's probably worth it. If we win another turn, we'll see 3 new cards and still take 1 damage. So, yeah, maybe you want to space these out a bit better. Like, I don't think... Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to think about it. We also could consider breaking with a crowbar here. So we see 2 new cards because the first one's a Himitsu, which isn't a good draw for them right now. Cortex Lock, dead card. Hedge Fund, sort of dead card. We drop 1, I guess. So even if they neural, they can't kill. They need 4 neurals, and even that, it's not only impossible for a couple reasons, but we can draw out of it. 11 cards left. If they don't purge, I think they just need to purge because the tax on running R&D is pretty real. Just taking 1 net damage every turn for an Axis is pretty real. But then we just don't run until they draw into it. So we know the next 2 cards, the Cortex Lock, Hedge Fund, we'll remember that. We know every card in HQ. And they just took 3 credits, so we have to respect Snare now. So if we run R&D, we see 2 new cards. What's the chance of them purging? Pretty low. Running HQ seems dumb. Street Peddler is a bad install. Crescentus is a good install. But we don't have the MU for it. That's never happened before. 1, 2, 3, 4. What centuries have we seen? Fuck, that's actually like a pretty meaningful decision here. Mediums are win condition. Peacock's necessary. Mongoose seems like it's pretty good against Jinteki, but we haven't seen any of the ice to be sentries besides Cortex Lock, so do we throw out a Mongoose? That seems nutty. That seems so nuts. Yeah, I think we're gonna do that. That seems crazy. Is that the right play? Only 9 cards left in our stack, so we can only take about 14 more net damage. 6 in archives. We know there's at least 2 shocks in there, I think. So we don't want to run that. But there's probably agendas in there. Because they haven't been big on like shuffling in face downs from archives. I think purging here is probably reasonable. Seems okay. Because otherwise we're going to see what? Now the top card is Hedge Fund, and we're going to run and see 4 cards. We'll see 3 new cards for 1 net damage. Yeah, that's not bad. Do we overwrite our Mongoose? That seems crazy. No, I don't think we do. I think we just take this net damage. That sucks. Purged. All right. So we run. We don't actually see a new card. And it's like so hard to deal with this thing. It really is. Running HQ is stupid. Running Server 1, maybe it's an agenda. Could be a Fetal, which would be game winning. What else could it be? If they spend 2 on it, like what else could it be? Psychic Field, it would suck. But no matter what, if it's an agenda, they're gonna have to start advancing it. Once they start advancing it, we'll run it. Because they wouldn't put an advanceable trap on advance for so long. Like that seems like a mistake. Fuck a duck. Okay, well, if we want to overwrite our Mongoose, we're going to have to replace our Shiv. And how much will this save? This saves us 1 net damage, right? And it costs them 4 credits. Like, it saves us 1 net damage because you only get it once on the D-Res. So we're paying 1 card for 1 net damage. That doesn't actually work out, does it? That seems like pretty bad. And they're just going to draw their Hedge Fund right now, so they're going to play it, so I don't think it's worth it. Nothing to do but click for credits. Don't want to draw cards because we'll have to install or throw them out. And that's kind of what this matchup comes down to a lot of times. Like so much of this one seems more about will R&D let up? And is it more, it's more about like, is R&D taxing enough for how lucky the accesses will be? A lot of the times that is either another Kaguya, which will suck. And now I think running R&D is a mistake. I think we'll still face check that because if they res a data mine, they res a data mine. But if there is another Kaguya, I'm glad it's here. And we'll just end the run. Yeah, great. So we're just not running R&D anymore. And I don't know how they win. They have to win in a couple turns because they only have 1 Jackson left and they have 14 cards here. We know what I think 3 of these are. We know data mine. I mean, sorry, neural, data mine, I think. It might be a bit difficult now because they're drawing up. There's probably Cortex Lock in there too, right? So what do? We just click for credits? How are they going to interact with us? And this might just drag on. And worth saying is that I jack out a lot of times on these servers, and you're technically not jacking out. It's just faster on Jinteki.net than being like, hey, can you end the run? And then they have to click on the ice and hit end the run. A lot of times for end the runs, I just check out. So one card in HQ unknown, can't really check it. It's like not worth our time. I think we just click for credits. And that is the issue I have with Kagugo. It builds game states in which the best thing to do is like just technically not play the game. Right? Because we can't run this. That's suicide. Running this is not good because it's 1 in 5 to see a new card through this, so we just have to wait. And installing cards is a mistake. So, what do we do? What do we do? Run Ice Destruction, run D-Res effects. You could be running Saker, Emergency Shutdown, things like that, of course. Forge Activation Orders also is good because you can technically trash if they don't have 4 credits. You can trash an unresed Kagugo. But like we can't run through this. Running through this and be like, oh, I hope we win, it seems like a mistake. And they need a score. Like putting ice on HQ, yeah, sure, that makes sense. But you're gonna need to put things and advance them to win the game. And you only have about 15 more turns to do it in best case scenario. Like what do we do? And all we have to do, like, there's probably, I don't know if there's more 1-pointers in this deck. There's probably future perfects, maybe. There's more likely global food initiatives, and we just have to hit one of those. And as soon as they install advance a card, it comes down to, like, is it a motion or is it a trap? And this deck doesn't really run traps well. Oh. Fuck. Well, we could have won by just running that. Great. Ha! Alright, so that only did 3 damage to us. It didn't get very meaningful cards out of our hand. That's fine. That's fine. That's good. Yeah, okay. Well, if we ran that, we could have won. Good to know. And they're still on 4 points, so they need to install advance. So now it comes down to like the Junebug trap. Great. So that's Hokusai on top of something. Hokusai on top of Snare would be an issue, and we have no way to test. But there's no agenda that they have to advance everything. If it's a Caprice, it sucks. But like there's nothing that they can't. There's nothing. I'm not scared of anything unless they advance it, right? Because we got all the 3-1s. They're probably not running 3-2s. Like they're probably not running Brain Trust. It's not particularly good in this deck. And if they are, next level, right? Like fuck, the best thing to do is not run. And what else to do is not run? Drawing is a mistake in this matchup. Nine cards left. So let's assume like, okay, they install advance, then they have advance. So that's 2 turns. 9 cards left. Jackson's gonna be somewhere. Don't want to run through this. We know where all the Kagugos are, so ice can't really harm us anymore besides data mine. And we know this might be a data mine. Oh, this is not good. So let's see. Server 1. As soon as they start advancing, we'll go for it. And they can't really keep a snare around. They could, in theory, like do some ridiculous thing where they pivot super hard, like install 1 piece of ice here, trashing the 2 Kagugos, and then that's a Hokusai. And then like Friends in High Places, 2 Kagugos on this server, and then yeah, now that's interesting. But at that point, we pivot R&D, so maybe they do that the turn. Like the coolest play is to do that the turn before R&D is almost done, where they know there's no agendas in it. That would be funny. I think that's an interesting avenue. But again, I don't think we do anything. Like, what are we meant to do? They're gonna put a Jackson down, shuffle 3 cards back in their deck, so they still have like 10 turns to win. And I just don't see how they build a secure server. We also could tilt and be like, fuck it, run R&D, take 2 net damage for a single axis. Yeah, it could win you the game, but I don't think that's the best play. And also this is a reason, like there's other ways you can deal with this Kagugo nonsense. Like you could run, indexing isn't particularly good because you have to run multiple times. But is there any card we can't get through? No. The only thing is we can't get through is 7 strength sentries. The only thing that we in theory can't get through, no, that's not what I'm saying, is this is a reason to run things like spy camera, right? Is that so you can see the top card of R&D. And if they install advance, we just go for it. I don't think there's anything to it. And if we can't get into it, like if we have clicks left and they res it and it's like, oh, Caprice, and we lose the side game, we just run archives. And even if it is a 3-1, they have to score 3 more of them. So like, who cares if the 3-1 goes through? Oh, well, okay. Well, this is the game now. So we already have the ability to draw all these cards, so I think we just go for it. Yeah, whatever. If this is the game too, we also could consider drawing in all our deck before any net damage fires. Just so we get full value out of it, because we know at least 2 net damage is gonna fire, so we can actually like draw up everything. Yeah, fuck it. That's fine. That's fine. Yeah, now they don't get value out of their ability. If you draw your whole deck, it's only 1 net damage now, no longer 2 net damage. And I think that actually might be the right play as long as we're confident we're going to win this turn. We also could have considered putting this down, but no. Or Shiv? Maybe the Shiv. I don't think there's 7 strength anything, so we have to worry about, let alone 7 strength sentries. What it could be. If it's a Susanna no Makoto, fire. All right, 1 net damage instead. It's a Hokusai, so let's see what this is. If it's a... So we take 1 for successful run, we access this, Fetal. Good game. Yeah, and I think they understood there's no way to win if we don't run. Good game. Thanks for the game. Yeah, I think the winning play a lot of times is just don't do anything, which is kind of nonsense. Like, I don't like that. It's just goofy that we just clicked for credits so many turns in a row, because I think on the board state that is the right play. You don't want to run this. It's not, someone in the chat said Wingset APOC, it's not that great. These decks run a hostile infrastructure. And then you APOC yourself. Hey Ogre, what's in archives? I would like to know what's in archives. Would you mind all? I want to see what's in archives, because there might be agendas in there. Future perfects are pretty well guarded on top of what's it called? Shocks. So let's see what's in here. So that's a Baku, great, we knew that. And in here we have no agendas. I'll move my face, just a lot of shocks. So running that would be a mistake. Thanks. Thanks. Yeah, totally. It's just not something I'd bring to a PU meta. Yeah, this person wasn't running hostile infrastructure, which makes sense. Well, thanks for the game, eh? Oh, greater than you. Anyways, that's that. So Geist is still fun. Like, there's still so many decisions you have to make at every point in time, which I think makes it a lot more interesting for me. Shame that, well, not shame, but like it's interesting to see what this game comes down to, where it comes to, like, I guess not running makes the most sense. But thanks so much for watching. We got videos coming out most weekday nights, and Thursday 8:45 Eastern we got a live stream. Actually, this Thursday likely not a live stream because of the Easter holidays. I think I'm in transit, so I'll sort that out sooner than later, and maybe we'll let you know. Yeah, wow, that was pretty confident. Thanks for watching. Ciao.